regions. But ladies and gents, it's time to get underway. The penultimate day of the Elite Classic begins now, and it begins with B versus Beasty.
Exactly, and here we go. Beasty spawning in the color yellow, probably one of his favorite colors in the game, and he's going to be playing as the Roos here on our map Regions. Now, Regions, we can already see it. It's a very, very aggressive map. You got these like 2 golds, which already spawn sort of in front of the base here for Beasty. Then in the middle, that's where the big gold mines are. Now on the opposite side, it's going to be 3DB, and we can see that he's going to be going for an early military school here. Already gathered the 100 or like the additional 50 stone that he needed. Usually thinking of this matchup, you wouldn't assume that an early military school would be such a good option. Just because, I mean, you're not going to be able to really harass Roos early on, right? They're not going to be going out for any of these really exposed resources. They're not going to be going out to gold early on. They're not going to be going out to stone early on, or at least if they go out to stone, that's usually after the Kremlin's already out. Then they have the Gremlins, and they're able to definitely beat back any harassment coming from the opposing player. So it's going to be interesting to see what B is going to be doing here. It could just be that the Spearmen are going to set him up here for the feudal age transition, just get some more map control. I mean, whenever the Gremlins come out, you always have the option of just running away.
Yeah, but it's very hard to just run away, Crackedy. They are speed demons with 2 legs. 1.5 movement speed is quite vile. But I think it's important to hit on your point earlier, right? It's like, you know, this play, especially against the Roos, is quite surprising because I think you hit the head on the hand when you mentioned the word gold. And you're seeing why. They hunt enough gold. Like, historically, Roos, I want to say, I haven't got the stats on hand, but I think you agree with this. They're probably 2nd average fastest tech up time to feudal out of all the civs in the game, right? Because they get so much of an absurd boost to their economy through just hitting these neutral mobs on the map.
Yeah, it always depends on how many scouts you invest into. Usually we see Roos going for like 2 additional scouts, and obviously that's a pretty big investment when it comes to resources. But through all of the gold that you get passively with the hunting cabin, with the bounty, means that you're usually able to make up for that and still get a really, really competitive age-up timing in. Now, we do see Beasty. He did click that wheelbarrow. Now, a couple of times in the past, we did see players having to cancel that, or if they didn't cancel it, they had to go out to gold. Actually, a little bit of a fight here going on. Beasty trying to go for that. Oh, he gets it. Okay, B denies the wolf here from Beasty, and now the scout is really low HP. He has to make his way back to the base from Beasty here.
Oh, that's a stinger as well, because remember that B, he did go for a 2nd scout in this opening. Makes a lot of sense, right? Because on this map, you know Roos are definitely going to go 3 scouts, probably about 80% of the time, because of that condensed deer area on the left, right? They want to send someone immediately over there, and then they want to focus on finding the randos on the other side of the map. And you can see they've already been cleaned up. I would be surprised if B didn't deny at least 1, if not 2 of those.
This was also such a smart play by B. He used his Spearman in order to kill a wolf in the middle of the map. Now we see Beasty. He had to go for 1. Oh, that's a couple of sheep that went over to B here from Beasty. But Beasty, he also didn't have enough gold in order to age up. So now he pulled a lot of villagers over to gold, went for a single trip, gets the gold that he needs, and now is going to be able to click that age up with the Kremlin. And now we're at that point in time where Beasty is going to have a really similar age up timing compared to B. But B has that early military school, so I think B is going to be quite happy about his current position in the game.
But that stings a little, right? Because you saw that on the wheelbarrow timing. You mentioned that Beasty had to make that 1 trip for gold. He made the return before wheelbarrow even completed, right? So you remain even less efficient than you desire to be here. But Kremlin is at least going to go up. This is critical. We see this often around the gold. Interestingly enough, Beasty is prioritizing protecting his wood lines as opposed to covering the stone. I wonder if this is suggesting that he's going to go for a 1 TC all-in to try and match the Ottomans. And I guess my question is, can that really work? Because of the power of the meta, it feels like you'd be playing a losing battle there.
I'm not sure if we're going to be seeing... Oh, another scout. Oh, another scout goes down. The Roos now and only 1 scout remaining. That definitely has to hurt the... Yeah, B Spears definitely got a lot of value here early on in this game. So military school definitely paying off here for B. But as you said, I think, yeah, and we do see Beasty go out to stone. So the thing is, you only want to be on stone temporarily, right? You only want to get that like 350 stone that you need for that TC. So Beasty is just going to be sending a lot of villagers there, try to gather that up really, really quickly. And after that, he's going to need gold at some point. So Kremlin on gold and wood, definitely not a bad spot here for him. Worst case, he's just going to have to call a couple of gremlins early on to defend his stone mine. But overall, I like the play. I like the decision making here from Beasty a lot.
Absolutely. I think the key detail there is that before he even completes the Kremlin, he pulls this many villages. If he waited an extra 30 seconds, B will actually reposition those spears. All of a sudden, you're in trouble town trying to reach your true win condition. B, on the other hand, I'm expecting this all in, right? He's already got the Madrissa out. That's going to give him food sustain. He got plenty of sheep, courtesy of a donation from the banker Beasty. And that's going to be another problem for Beasty, right? I think the big focus point, and we saw it from B as he moved there, is going to be that deer stack. Because as we've seen time and time again on this map, your food sources dry up fast, at least the ones that are safe.
Exactly. You only have that one deer spot that's really close to your base. After that, all the resources are far out on the map, and you're going to have to run out and get map control. And right now, Beasty doesn't... I mean, the TC is the kind of thing. Like, where is he going to place it? If he gets it up on the deer, he's going to be in a really nice position. But I do actually see B's Spearman move away from the deer spot. So B is not going to be able to deny or at least delay that second TC coming out from Beasty from the looks of it. Yeah, now they're circling around the wrong side here, around Beasty's base. Could be that he's only just now looking for the stone, but...
I think
this is tough.
It's a bit weird. Like, he's got a Sapai gun, but that's passive production. That's going to take a while, right? By the time that arrives, you know, there's going to be some archers poking you from underneath a Kremlin. My only thought is that B was maybe paranoid. He was maybe thinking B-brain style, in that, you know, if B was playing Roos here, let's be honest, he'd try to sneak a TC on that boar in the berry bushes, right? Maybe that creeped into his mind. He's like, what if Beasty plays that? Because if we check around that boar on the right side, it's got stealth forests as well as all these berries and boar. It's a very kind of safe and shrouded area to take. But, of course, for Beasty, it's always about taking the calculated risk, the safe risk. He's going to take something close to his base, and it's going to be the deer.
Scout blocks it with the sheep, but sheep automatically moves back. Beasty's going to get that up. Now, the spears arrive, but Beasty did the smart thing. He made an archer range first, gets a couple of archers out, and with that, the TC is going to be going up safely. As he's mentioned earlier, I mean... Tapahi, you get that in the queue in the military academy. It's going to be like 2.
Wait, what?
Like a mid or something. And we see imams.
This is very early for an imam play, right? Like, he hasn't even got a standing army to enable with this yet.
He's going to be able to heal up one spearman with it, and the scout at the very least. Not the biggest value that you get from it, but I guess like he might want to just duck and weave every now and then into the range of that TC and then be able to heal up.
Got it. Well, like, I guess one element is, you know, sometimes you have to go for the sheep instead. If you're really food dry, he doesn't have to worry about that thanks to the donations. He's got plenty that he got himself due to the 2 scout opening. But then on top of that, you know, does he really feel like he gets more value out of a meta right now? And if he goes into the meta and he fails to protect it against what's going to be a mass archer army, all of a sudden you have to delay your scaling of Sipahi by using the military school to get metas out.
Spy now coming out, and I mean, this is also where it helps, right? Beasty just called in 4 militia. With these 2 imams,
True.
He's going to be able to easily out-heal the damage from the militia, and now we see Beasty also dropping in the stable, so he's definitely going to be investing into H2. He knows that he's going to be having to defend in H2. I guess, like, Roos is probably one of the easier civilizations to defend with in H2. It's one of those civs that do get feudal age knights. Now, we do have a couple more civs that get feudal age knights. I mean, not knights per se, but we got Keshiks in the new patch. Not here right now, but, like, early knights, they're so strong.
Yes. And that was kind of the balance point. But for the time being, only the Roos in this game have the potential access to that. Meanwhile, a pinch comes in. A nice maneuver here by Beasty onto the wood line of B. We'll be able to take one volley down, almost get us a second. Now, he may not kill more, but the thing that's been highlighted about the absurdity of the Gremlins is even if they fail to kill anything, with the amount of idle time they've achieved, it's well worth it.
That's like 20 seconds idle time on like 20 villagers almost, I want to say. And yeah,
it might be a bit more, to be honest. Like, when he peeled away, it looked like there was 20 plus in that alone.
Gremlins are a unit that exists in the game, and they are strong. they are definitely strong. I mean, all the value. It does take a lot of like your attention to like focus your militia and like be wary of how many tickets you have for them at all times. And you always have to think about, okay, where can I get value with them? But it's really easy to get value with them if it's so easy for them to like cause idle time like that.
Well, I think to your point of like you have to micro them heavily. Yes, but let's compare it to a French knight, Crackedy. Not only is the cost a lot lower, but the main micro is you need to get them there. Once they're there, it's kind of fire and forget, because they're going to die eventually from expiration. So you might as well just lead them to their duties. And right now, the follow-up of the knight is going to cause pain for B. B, who has got archers ready to address the militia, not so much prep to deal with these knights.
He's really struggling for wood right now, so all this idle time here does cost him heavily. I wish he would just like drop a quick palisade wall between those two wood lines and just be done with it. And I mean, it's always
he
so
needs
tough
wood
to
for that.
decide for that. Yeah, you always only think about it in hindsight. It's like, oh man, if only I just walled that. But then the units are away again. It's out of your mind. You just continue going for your own game plan. Suddenly the raids come in again. You're like, oh no, I didn't place the wall as I wanted to. And yeah, it just tends to kind of go like that. And now we see Knight once again from Beasty just running around the base. Is going to try and look for some more pressure. Gremlins once again being called. Just going to go right around and oh,
hello. Were you gathering food here? You're so busy defending your wood. I couldn't imagine why. Get out of here. Actually, he kind of helped him there because it looked like he wasn't meant to be on those berries.
Yeah, he definitely did help be a little bit there. I gave him the attention to like, oh wait, they were supposed to be on the landmark berries, and yeah, they do get retasked to that. Gives you quite a bit of a food boost here, and we do see the income right now. Now, Beasty, he is ahead by 12 villagers at this point in the game. He killed 1 villager, he's on 2 TC, he's looking fine right now.
Yeah.
But B, he's still able to somewhat keep up with the resources-ish. He's lagging behind by like 100, 200 resources per minute right now. And that's going to get only worse and worse for him. So he definitely needs to do something soon. And once again, villager goes down. And yeah, these small villager losses, I mean, if you're on 2 TC, they don't matter as much, but his B is only on 1 TC right now. It does matter a lot now. He does have military schools or military academies to kind of make up for that. No, it's military schools. And so it's kind of like an eco bonus, as in you get free units, but it doesn't help you if you don't do anything with them.
Well, that's the point. He can't do anything because he keeps responding to these fires that the little pyrotechnomaniac that Beasty is setting in his base, right? Oh no, two more gremlins coming. Sends like 6, 7 units there instead of having them getting ready for an offensive. And you can see Beasty, he is playing this very dangerous game of his army is technically not big enough to fully defend in a straight up battle in the middle. But due to the defensive elements in his base, plus the fact that this info isn't fully realized by B, he's buying critical time and even getting away with a farm transition while B is trying to get to that all-in feudal.
It could be the critical timing, though. This farm transition could mean that now B's window has come. He still has those 2 imams, so fights are going to be looking good for him. There's no meta yet, though.
No. And the archers, they can just pummel you down from the other side of the TC. This is a frustration when you've got a reliance on this much melee. Even some that count as the archers, is they have to get around and on top of them. And that means diving past into dangerous territory, something that B is simply not willing to do. And for good reason, right, Crackedy? Like, he fails once here, and the game is over.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Beasty, he probably doesn't have too many tickets, at least right now, in the Kremlin, as he's been using them quite actively so far. So if a big fight comes out, there's probably not going to be too many gremlins coming out here from Beasty to defend. B, as we mentioned, he definitely has to make something happen here really, really soon. It just gets worse and worse for him. Now, the farm transition is going to aid him a little bit here. It means that Beasty is going to have to kind of weigh how much wood he wants to invest into archers, how much he wants to invest into his farm transition. But he does have the income right now, doesn't he? He does have like almost 200 more, pretty much 200 more wood per minute that he can just invest every minute into farms. And now, this is the thing, right? Like, these knights, whenever they're out on the map, they're going to force your attention. You have to redirect to them.
And they're a big enough mass that, like, it's not like the gremlins earlier, because this is the thing. B's opening with the imams, I was a bit concerned, but it was genius because he could just park one in his villages and heal the damage done by true gremlins. But you can't heal the dead, Crackedy. And if 7 knights ride into that wood line, there is going to be no boo-boos to kiss better. Those people are going to be torn in 2.
Yeah, B only has 3 spears. That's the initial one that he got from his military schools. He does not have a barracks, I think, so he's not going to be able to upgrade them. He isn't going to be able to make more unless he invests into a barracks. But he doesn't really want to invest into a barracks right now. He just wants to mass more and more Spahi to then go for that one really, really big push with the archer mass. And now he does have a matter. I think now that he has the matter, he has the imams, he has a really good army size. This is where he wants to go for a big push. Only issue is that Beasty, with all the defensive buildings that he has, with that second TC, with that Kremlin, it's going to be really, really hard. And we got to see what's happening here now. He is going to be going for the push.
And he comes in. These choke points are going to be difficult if he gets forced to dive. All torches are out, though. Remember, secondary TC, not so tanky. Down to half HP. Knights are going to ride out. Need to be careful of getting surrounded and pinched here. But instead, B, he commits onto the town center. Repair crew is going to be pulled, but it's going to be tough to keep this up. They might just be able to hold on, and B is not addressing the archer mass at all. Even if the town center now goes down, the losses are going to be high for him. So he retreats.
Oh, I mean, he did kill a good bunch of knights. He killed like 5, 6 knights there. So at least that's going to be good for him. Imams are getting sniped out. No more Imams, no more meta as well.
That's huge. Archers, they need to be careful. The surround attempt comes in from B, but the TC will protect his flank. He backs up through the houses, start a step back looking effective. TC has been repaired up to a decent margin, but a lot of villagers are now left in no man's town here. There's no easy way out for them. Archers continue to retreat. The Sipahi count is decreasing, but these archers are here to stay, and Beasty has no quick way of addressing them.
Yeah, I mean, right now, military numbers, 66 compared to 34. We see on the map just so many green little dots here from B coming towards Beasty's base. And now the archer mass for B is looking really, really good compared to what Beasty has. And Beasty, he can't fight these archers right now. There's just too many of them. Lordy. He doesn't have enough here.
I mean, Beasty's effective EQ lead is all on this TC. Repair crew, pretty much there, right? Villagers that were sacrificed. A lot of space that's now having to be invested in building additional infrastructure to get a new army out. The archers are doing a great job of cleaning up. But what's more important here is how much time Beasty has wasted with the Sipahi. In a world where B would prefer to have actually just cleaned up this archer mass, instead, he is at risk of being fully pushed out of the base.
Yeah, B's getting potentially pushed out now. Beasty has been able to keep his archer mass really, really well alive. Does manage to finally take down that second TC, though. He's going to be able to kill a couple more villagers, but he's definitely going to get pushed out here soon.
I think he's held here, right? Like, it's definitely going to be a stinger losing the TC. He's got a bunch of farms here that need something next to him to be even useful, but he still has a 13 eco lead. And now when we look at the military situation, neck and neck, but critical factors here. B, because he lost that meta midway through the assault, it hurt his impact to kill. And on top of that, you mentioned the imams are now gone. That's a point investment that you can't replicate anymore.
Exactly, but still, we look at this at the end of the day, we see B's income, we see Beasty's income. There were definitely heavy hits here. Behind this, Beasty, he did have to make a farm transition, which is not fully done yet. We do see those farms, as you mentioned earlier, which are kind of like idle right now, as there's nothing next to them. B even going for some torches on them. At the same time, Beasty looking to secure some more food options here on the map with a couple of wooden fortresses. Definitely the right move here, but right now we look at his income, it's not where it needs to be.
And another key thing there, right? We saw Beasty moving out to the berry patch. It's a brilliant read because B, it's kind of that awkward thing where because you've got a foothold in this side of the base, you're likely to keep coming here, right? Which puts you on the opposite side of the shortcut across this extension for Beasty. And that extension is critical. Gold is great for him. Wood is great for him. Beasty's only lacking factor right now that could cost him the game is not having a lock on food.
Yeah, exactly. And Beasty, look at his income right now. He does have a lot of gold still in the bank, or big farms now coming up as well. He does have a lot of gold in the bank. As soon as he gets the food, he's able to spam knights, and we immediately see 4 knights in the queue right now. Yeah. If he's able to remass knights, it's going to be really tough for B to react to them. Just because Sipahi against knights, the knights will always win.
Not to mention, you're getting closer to the primary TC, which means the gremlins can get more easily involved. And Meta almost sniped again. B barely gets it away, but keep in mind, he hasn't stacked up or prepped a second meta. So the moment he begins his next assault, he could very easily lose that critical component to his army.
Yeah, exactly, and this is the point. I mean, B right now, he definitely needs to get damage, and once again, the archer numbers are keep building for both players. Beasty still has a good lead in the archer numbers. Matter is going to help quite a bit here, but very low HP. He did just survive very, very narrowly. If that goes down, the army, I would be really favoring Beasty here, even though the army value right now is favoring B.
It's kind of crazy when you think about the fact when he commits to try and get these buildings, even if it only costs him 2 Sipahi, sure, part of it is free, but if you do the maths on it, like the replacement for the roost is not hard, right? But this would be a hard replacement. Needs to be careful with the archers. Knights do scare away again, but B, he realizes if he at any point lets up with this pressure, the sting will be felt for him instead.
He lost the spy and the matter, immediately kills another one, and I mean, still, we look at the mass right now, B is somewhat outproducing, but Beasty's eco, it's skyrocketing right now. The boar really saved him here, and now he's at like 1,500 food per minute. He could go to Castle Age.
Yeah, this is 100% Castle Age, right? He's got, you can see, he's keeping up production while still scaling. I think in the next 2 minutes, we should see him crack Castle Age unless B forces his hand. That's the critical ingredient here. And we can see by that front line of Sipahi, they're starting to feel the bludgeoning. One improvement coming out from B compared to the last assault, he's identified the weakness. He's now escalating meta counts to be 2, so there's not going to be an instant snipe in favor of Beasty.
Even going for a third one here, but I mean, Beasty, he's messing knights right now. And Knights and Feudal Age are still really scary if you don't have any Spearmen, and B's composition is severely lacking Spearmen right now. And you need a lot of archers in order to deal with these Knights, and now just 2 Knights are going to be able to cause so much idle time here in B's economy.
Yeah, and he's going to be forced to run. Like think about that eco lead that's already 11. It's going to escalate more. You talk about this passive reduction, but there's only so much credit you can give it here. You know, and to the whole point of what you're saying about the Knights is the fact that he's not just getting enough Knights to directly buffer off the Sipahi, but he allows himself to have these branch-offs. And in the meantime, while the distraction is underway, he sees weakness. He tries to strike, but archers will be able to get away, courtesy of the meta movement speed.
Chases on, though, at the same time. Matter does boost the movement speed here from these archers. The army value is now in favor of Beasty, and look at that, almost 100 military and almost 20 Knights on the field for him.
I feel like we see this so much now, right? You want Castle Age? No shot, mate. This game ends in Feudal, especially on a map like Regions. It either turns into Castle Age and a rush in the center, or it turns into a never-ending bloodbath like we're witnessing here.
Look at this. Beasty has 66 archers. He's going to be almost able to one-shot these Sipahi.
Remember, there's nothing B can do to buffer them up further unless he goes up to Castle Age. And of course, the only person likely to do that in the next few minutes is going to be Beasty. He already has the food requirement, now just needs to recalibrate his gold. We could easily see him there by 23 and a half minutes.
How long it takes for these Sipahi to deal with a single Knight here. It's vile almost.
You know what I love as well is Beasty plays the edge of the map so that you can't fully encircle. So it takes even longer, and you just feel like you've been inefficient with the amount of Sipahi you brought.
Yeah, this is kind of an issue, right? You bring like double the numbers of Sipahi. Against this many Knights, they still feel so weak, and a lot of Sipahi went down there. Not a single Knight.
B did not want that. That's crazy from Beasty. Remember, the person who should have had vision advantage going into that shrouded area is B. But if we check, Beasty, he's got, what, these towers to the north side, south side as well. No wonder he's the one who's making the plays here. He forces a fight. Archers will hold their ground as Knights do get involved. There is going to be a snipe on the meta, and all of a sudden B, he feels like he's in a bit too deep. It's hard to cut and run, but you need to get out. But the price is most definitely going to be high.
All matters have been sniped there in an instant. That's just what you get when there are so many archers. Now, Militia also being called. 12 Spearmen here is going to make it really hard for these Sipahi to take any engagements now.
How do you leave?
He's going to have to run.
But how do you get out? This is going to cost you half the army. Look how many Knights are here. He's willing to trade. The archers are going to stand their ground because the Sipahi. Look at the health bars. They're barely tickling right now, and the Knights turn around for the backstab. BC sees a cleanup opportunity. Sure, it would have been great to take out the archers, but these Sipahi, they cost a damn lot more, and they mean a lot more to B.
At the same time, B looks to be also wanting to go up to Castle Age from the resource-wise, but now the entire military is going to get cleaned up. No matter, no movement speed. These Knights are really, really tanky. Army value almost triple for Beasty here than what B has out on the field, and surely, I mean, B is not going to be able to keep up with this for long.
He's going to go for the jugular. It's 22 Knights behind this. High Trade House is now on the way. BC understands what's about to happen here, folks. The moment that tech up comes out, B sinks into deep depression here. He's got an entire army plowing its way across the field to his base. But behind that, he's going to be a full age behind with no signs of hope on the horizon.
Yeah, I mean, the reinforcements here, they're just not going to be enough. SBC still has almost double the military right now. Oh my god, this is so hard for B now to hold. It's hard. It's going to be impossible. It's just impossible at this point.
You got it. Meanwhile, BC, finish him. He moves in. Villagers are pulled as well. B says all hands on deck. But son, you're whipping out shivs against beefy Knights here. They'll hold the front line. Archers will sweep through everything behind it. Tech up comes out from Beasty, and B has no shot in hell.
Yeah, I mean, military, almost 4 times the value here right now for Beasty. Now the upgrades are going to be coming in. Grabs the Archer veterancy, and B knows, and he calls it GG. Game number 1, going the way of the Beast.
Ooh, Beast versus the bee. Natural predator, I guess, in the wildlife. But often we've seen B be able to sting back. Unfortunately for him in this one, I think that looking back at this, he had a great play on that dive on the second TC. In fact, at that point, it looked like B, it was kind of thumbs up. But Beasty, calm and calculated, the way he was able to whittle away at the army. And I think you'll agree, Crackedy, the most important detail in this game is where in the metas, they're in a coffin constantly.